watch this.
Hi everyone, this is Arabi, and on behalf of the Philippines NBCAP, I will be presenting today on the Blue Carbon Ecosystem Store. In this presentation, I will focus on how we can access this layer and how we can use this to map the blue carbon. On the Blue Carbon Ecosystem Store. In this presentation, I will focus on how we can access this layer and how we can use this to map the blue carbon ecosystems in the country. We will also learn about the potential restoration sites for mangroves and how we arrived or created this layer. So to start with, we know that NBCAP is a multi-stakeholder initiative that aims to protect, restore, and sustainably manage blue carbon ecosystems in the country. One of its goals is to bring together government agencies and local stakeholders to collectively protect our ecosystems, one of which is through the development of the NBCAP Blue Carbon Roadmap. Over the years, NBCAP led community engagements that strengthen the knowledge and skills of its partners while bridging science, policy, and communities for more effective ecosystem protection. For NBCAP to meet its goals, it requires the collection of a large amount of data, including those needed to support the implementation of the roadmap. One of these is spatial data. This type of data contains information that shows where our ecosystems are located and what are the status of these ecosystems. These include GIS datasets and satellite-derived data. These are some of the important roles of the spatial data to NBCAP. First, it allows mapping the extent of blue carbon ecosystems, whether mangroves, seagrass, or tidal wetlands. Aside from extent, we can also identify the areas that are lost, degraded, established, or recovering. Previous maps showing the extent of blue carbon ecosystems were generated by Euclid Liman through its Blue Curves program, DNR PhilSat, who produced the 2023 Philippine Mangrove Maps, and the NAMRIA through its Coastal Resource Mapping. Of course, there are other global or site-specific ecosystem maps produced by partner institutions such as NGOs and academia. Next, it allows monitoring ecosystem change and loss over time through multi-temporal analysis of datasets. With satellite data, we can also monitor success of projects. One example of this is the Mangrove Leap app of Oceana Philippines, capable of historical and future mangrove loss mapping. Third, we can estimate carbon stocks and emissions by deriving data that can proxy canopy height, density, and other parameters required for biomass estimation. Maps from spatial datasets can also inform site selection, like how CSL utilizes location data of MPAs to identify priority areas for their initiatives. Lastly, the spatial data can be integrated to socioeconomic, ecological, and even local knowledge for better decision-making. Here are existing layers for the Philippines, for mangroves, seagrass, and tidal marsh. For mangroves, mainly the DNR PhilSat layer, plus the NAMRIA CRM mangrove data. For seagrass, we have the Allen Coral Atlas seagrass and the NAMRIA CRM seagrass data. Lastly, we have a tidal marsh layer from the University of Cambridge. There are other secondary datasets from academia and NGOs. This layer differ in terms of spatial coverage, whether national or global, as well as temporal coverage, methodology, or how these layers were created, and the satellite data used. Of course, they also have different use cases. To access these layers, typically, you need to visit a certain website or platform, find your area of interest, zoom to that location, and view the available ecosystem layer like mangroves. However, if you want to visualize other layers like seagrass, it's typically not available on the same platform. Thus, you open another site and you cannot view them together. In NBCAP, we have collated all national blue carbon ecosystem layers and stored them in our own database. So we have the data for mangroves, seagrass, tidal marsh, and other supplementary data. With this database, you can access the full copy of the nationwide datasets, allowing nationwide level analysis. Aside from that, you can also access the full metadata information. Lastly, take note that the full access is currently limited to immediate partners due to some data sharing agreements. If you have access, you can open one of the ecosystem layers, then select the data from the subfolders. Then, you can access and download the ecosystem data in shapefile format, like this PhilSat dataset in shapefile. You can then load the shapefile to your local GIS software like QGIS or ArcGIS. Here, you can click the layers, analyze the vectors, generate and layout maps, and even calculate the statistics. However, we recognize that this requires some technical skills in addition to limited access to the database. So in order for everyone to access our collated layers, we developed the Philippine NDCAP Blue Carbon Ecosystems Explorer. This is a platform that will enable partners and any public users to have access to the harmonized blue carbon data, which is significant for conservation planning, resource management, and for implementation of the Philippine Blue Carbon Roadmap. In this explorer, we can visualize the ecosystem statistics such as extent in hectares, percentage of ecosystems inside key biodiversity areas, and even percentage inside NIPA sites. Of course, you can visualize the different layers available for each blue carbon ecosystem, and you can zoom in to your specific target sites to visualize closely the ecosystem layers. Then, we can also overlay the above-ground biomass data, in this case, the AGB data from the European Space Agency (CCI) for year 2022. For the stats, the mean AGB density and the total AGB will be printed. For better appreciation, it is now time for you to experience the platform. Kindly open your devices, go to your browser, and type this address, tinyurl.com and NDCAP-Map. Again, tinyurl.com and NDCAP-Map. You can also scan the QR code here. The app is best optimized for desktop view, so it is recommended to use a laptop or a tablet. You may also take a photo of the screen if you prefer to visit it later. We will give you time, kindly visit this site. After, you will arrive at this landing page. Before we proceed, let's listen to this conversation.
Yenge, na-access ko na sa browser. Nakita ko ang buong view.
Putol sabi. Bakit naman kaya?
Sabi kasi kanina, dapat desktop. Para buo. Try mo mamaya.
Okay.
Ayan. Again, it is best to use either laptop or tablet to view the full panels. Alright, so now let's start with the demonstration. First, let's get familiarized with the layers. On the left panel, you have the different ecosystem layers and also the selection of tools, settings, and some resources. At the center, you have the map layer where the different layers will be visualized once selected. And on the bottom right, you can see the legend for the different layers that are available. First, let's select display mangrove layers, but first, kindly select a scope. For mangroves, you can select either nationwide or provincial level analysis. Click select scope and click nationwide. After that, click display mangrove layers. Then we should wait for some time for the mangrove layers to be loaded. You can check the layers here, lock the view, and see the three available resources, the DNR PSAT, NAPRIA CRM, and the Global Mangrove Watch. You can check them so you can visualize each layer. So this is GMW, this is NAPRIA, and this is PSAT. You can also zoom in to the site of interest. For example, here, I'm looking at Siargao Island. Then, loaded is the DNR PSA Mangroves 2023. I can also switch to satellite view by clicking this one. Then, the PISA mangroves will be overlaid on top of the satellite data for this particular site. Now, what if you only want to visualize the result for a certain province? To do that, proceed to the scope selection, select province, then under region, so please select region 4B Mimaropa. Then for province, kindly select Palawan. Province, region 4B, and Palawan. And now, click display mangrove layers. The viewer will focus or zoom in to your particular selected province. For this one, let me just select the DNR PISA mangroves. You can zoom up to see the result for the whole province. On the left panel, again, you can see the result or statistics. The good thing here is that you can see the list of the KBA sites covering that particular province. For this one, you can see the 22 sites covering Palawan. Alright, because of some time limitation, let me do the demonstration for the other layers quickly. So to visualize the CGRS layers, make sure that you have chosen nationwide. Click display CGRS layer, and it will show to you the two available layers, the Allen Coral Atlas, CGRS, and the Nambia CRM, CGRS Plus series. You can zoom into your site of interest. For example, let's go to Boracay. Then, here, the lighter areas are the Nambia CGRS data, Plus series, and the darker blue areas are your RNC Atlas CGRS data. You can also visualize the statistics on the left panel. So what if you want to visualize all layers together? Just click display all national layers, and it will show to you all of the available ecosystem layers like seagrass, mangroves, and additional supplementary data like NIPAS and KBAs. For example, you are working in Masinloc, just zoom into a particular site of interest. And here, you can visualize the mangroves along with the seagrass layers. You can also zoom up and visualize the location of the key biodiversity areas here. And also the NIPAS sites for your site. Now, what if we only want to calculate and visualize the layers for a specific study area or region of interest? For example, we are working with a provincial or national level analysis. To do this, just zoom into your particular area of interest, like this one. Click the Calculate Ecosystems inside the area button. Click Draw Polygon, and draw the polygon inside or covering your study area. Then, click Recalculate or Calculate. Then it will give you the layers just inside area of interest and the statistics, especially the area for each of the layer. Alright, now that we have discussed the Blue Carbon Ecosystem Explorer, particularly on visualizing the blue carbon ecosystems in the Philippines, let's proceed to another component, which is to map restoration opportunities. The first step in this process is to actually develop the restoration layer. So in this section, I will present the potential mangrove restoration sites layer. This is a collaboration between DNR, ATB, and the technical consultant, Bubuka Advisory. Under Bubuka, I also serve as the lead consultant in developing this product. This is the summary of the process we did in generating the layer or restorable layer. We utilize multiple data sets such as satellite data and existing mangrove layers. The first step include mapping the current mangroves. Here we use that DNR PISA data. Next, we map the historical mangrove loss footprints and compare this with the current mangrove layers. Lastly, we did ecological and land use filtering through criteria-based exclusion filters. We then complied with two sets of criteria. One is based on ecological suitability, based on publications and studies, including historical mangrove presence and substrate conditions. Next, we comply also with carbon methodology requirements like RERA, such as conditions of the current land cover and additionality requirement. In the process, no hard water exclusion was applied so as to include fish ponds and aquaculture areas. We also include elevation filters based on self-published studies. We also excluded shallow coastal areas and reef associated areas that are more suitable for seagrass and coral ecosystems. Lastly, we also excluded filled-up areas as they represent non-reversible land cover. The figure shows the top 3 provinces with the most restorable areas, such as Quezon, Palawan, and Zamboanga, Sibugay. Pixels in blue are those areas that are potentially restorable. This is a subset mangrove site in Palawan. The green areas are the current mangroves, and the orange areas are the potential restorable sites. As seen here, the restorable sites are currently aquaculture areas. This is another site in Palawan, Rizal, Palawan. This time, the map restorable areas here are actually damaged mangroves. And since they pass the criteria, they were mapped as restorable. So kindly take note that the potential restoration mangrove site layer requires field validation. In addition, we need additional data or field-based data to determine the tenure status of the current land cover, such as fish pies. For carbon credit targeted restoration, this layer can serve as a valuable input during the scoping and the feasibility phases of the carbon projects. Lastly, for government-led restoration, this layer can support prioritization of restoration areas, planning, and site selection. How to access the potential mangrove restoration sites? We simply need to visit again the Blue Carbon Ecosystem Explorer, since this layer is already integrated into the platform. We can either click Display Mangrove Layers or Display All National Layers. Zoom in to your site of interest and click Potential Restoration Site for mangroves. This is an example site in Zamboanga del Sur. Moving forward, one key direction is to make this tool more accessible. Rather than being a standalone platform, it will soon be integrated into the upcoming NVCAP website. As presented, the development of this Explorer is being led by CSL as the NVCAP Secretariat. This is grounded in years of field experience, especially in mangrove rehab and working closely with local communities. Eventually, this will transition to institutional ownership. So DNR will take the lead in managing the platform, ensuring that updates and new layers are properly reviewed and validated. In terms of the blue carbon layers, we plan to include the new seagrass map from PILSA and DNR, which are expected to be available by year 2027. In summary, we learned about the importance of spatial data to NVCAP, and knowing this, we developed the Blue Carbon Ecosystems Explorer. Most of this harvest data are existing layers from our partner agencies like DNR and PILSA. For the potential restorable sites for mangroves, we share with you the process and how this particular layer can help us in our local initiatives. In connection to the Blue Carbon Roadmap, we hope that this platform will be utilized in meeting its goal, especially the strategic area number 2, science, technology, and innovation. So for program A, this particular tool already houses the key ecosystems layer like mangroves and seagrass. For program B, the layers can serve as baseline data for further mangroves and carbon studies. And for program C, through the creation of potential restorable layer, we can do site-specific plans and management. For other technical resources such as primer, publications, manuals, kindly locate the technical resources link found at the bottom of the Explorer. For other technical questions, please feel free to contact me at this email, nvcapgis@gmail.com. nvcapgis@gmail.com. Again, this is Alvin. Thank you so much for listening at magandang araw po sa lahat.
Thank you, Mr. Alvin Valore, for that very powerful visual